Hey everybody, welcome to episode 44 of the Wild Ass Podcast. We've never done it like this. I'm super excited, pumped. This literally came about 15 minutes ago, and I'm being joined this time by my beautiful wife, Renae, and our house guest. If you haven't met him or heard of him, this is Pat Cornell.
Crazy old man.
The crazy old man on Facebook. So Pat's on a little bit of a ride that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, and we're just going to kind of wing it. Like I said, I've never done it this way. Normally I have notes. I can read things.
Scripts.
Yep. So the podcast is to introduce people that I've met through the industry, friends of mine, people that have become friends, and I welcome you to the show. And welcome
Thank
to
you.
Brainerd, Minnesota. We're actually not in Brainerd, but that's where we say we're from.
Yes.
So we're not really sure how
How
we
we're gonna do
connected.
this.
I think we connected, Pat and I, probably, through long distance riding people, right? The
Yep.
Hoka probably.
Okay, Mile Monsters.
Mile Monsters.
Yep.
Hoppers 100
Hoppers
party. Were you at that?
100, Riots 100,000 mile year. Just seeing a lot of people on them, and I was very resistant. I mean, I had one of those other air cushions that I took on a Hoka challenge, and I ended up using a gel pad and using the other brand of air cushion as my pillow on my cot. And I was like, I am not spending that money. I'm not doing that again.
Well, we're going to get to that story coming up. So, because I know we knew each other, and I know it was from that group of riders being, the long distance community. And I got an order, I want to say it was in February.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, we were doing things a little bit different at the shop. And every order, I was like, if an order came in, I saw it. I don't see them all anymore, but I saw yours. And I went, huh, that's weird. And what I thought was you already had one, right?
I remember that because she was like, I got an order from Pat today, and I'm sure he already has a cushion.
Yeah, swear to God, you already had one.
Yeah.
Just because it seems like everybody does now,
Yeah,
right? We
and
just
I
take
mean,
it for
and
granted.
I had seen you a couple of years in Daytona.
Yeah.
I had seen you around. I was very resistant.
Yeah. And I want to share this story because last week was Sturgis, so we're recording this on August 11th. Last week we were in Sturgis, and you stopped by, and I think you were at the booth, and someone said, he's being paid to say that. And my Uncle Marty was the one working with you at the time, and I was like, no, I don't think he is. And I think you even said, I ain't getting paid to say this.
Nope.
Okay, so you bought your first cushion, and what's crazy about that is the people you've mentioned, Hopper, Riot, all these guys bought their cushions. I didn't know who they were.
Yep.
We had literally zero contact. You and I had contact. And that's something that it's really flattering to me. But you placed the order, and I remember calling you going, hey, is something wrong with your cushion? And I think you were like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't have one.
I didn't get it yet. There's nothing wrong with it. I didn't get it yet.
So that was one of the things. I just, I saw the name, and I'm like, man, something's up. Like, why? Something's wrong. I got to find out what's going on and why he's buying another cushion. So then now correct me if I'm wrong, I believe your words were something to the effect, if not verbatim, Paco told me all about these things. Riot talks about them. Hopper talks about them. And if it does half the shit, if it doesn't do what they say it's going to do, if it doesn't do half the shit they say it's going to do, I'm sending it to you, and I'm going to get my goddamn money back.
Pretty much.
Does that sound familiar?
Pretty much. It better be half of what they say, or I'm getting a refund, one
Yep.
way or another.
And I believe my verbatim response was challenge accepted.
Yep.
And that was kind of the end of it. That was it. And it was the reason I think it was February is because the next time I saw you was in Daytona. And I've shared this story with a bunch of people, and it's funny. I said, because if you don't talk to Pat, he's like that guy from the Northeast. You don't know if he's mad at you, if he's just Pat, if he's having a good time, if he's messing with you. So I said I was in Daytona, and I happened to be in the booth that you pulled up to. You pulled up to the booth, and I went, and you looked. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I walked out, and I'm like, And I don't know if you remember this. There's a bunch of people around the booth, and I kind of walked right through all of them, walked right up to you, and I said, "What's going on?" Do you remember that? Or I said, "What's up?" Something like that.
Vaguely.
And you had said, you kind of like leaned over to be quiet, and you said, "This thing does every fucking thing
Yes,
they
I do
told me
remember
it would
that.
do."
I do remember that.
That's
So-
fantastic.
It was so awesome. And I'm like, well, good. You parked your bike, and then we visited. At that point, you didn't tell me what was coming up. So that's how I recall this becoming a relationship instead of just like people we saw.
Instead
You
of
know
a,
what I
hey,
mean?
Craig, how are you?
Yeah. Yep. So anything you remember different.
No, I remember, I mean, I don't know how many times I visited the booth,
Yep.
how many times I sat on the cushion going, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I want to spend more money on another pillow.
And this, for the record, Pat wanted to record a video talking about the cushion, and I said, let's turn it into a podcast because I
Yep.
want to talk about more than just the cushion. I get to talk about them all day. I love hearing how good it is, so yes, I want to hear all of that. Please shower me with truth. And and it never gets old, does it, hon?
No, never. No.
But I want to talk about your ride and what you're doing too. So that's how we got to Daytona. And then in Daytona, we talked a little bit, and I said, what do you got coming up? And you were pretty hesitant to tell me.
Trying to keep it under wraps.
Yep,
I mean, I'm 60 years old.
yep,
To endeavor on 125,000 miles in 125 days. And to put that out to the world is a little tough for me. So I decided that we were going to start our ride on May 1st, and on June 1st, we would roll out the fundraising and let everybody know I'd been on the road for a month. And my reasoning was, this 60-year-old body didn't know if in 2 weeks or 3 weeks was going to be screaming and I couldn't do it. And if I couldn't do it, and only 12 or 15 people knew, I had to eat this much crow.
yep.
If I put it out on the internet, I'd have to eat the whole damn flock and then some. And I don't like crow that much. So we tried to keep it under wraps. A few of the long distance riders, Hoka Hay, IBA, IBR guys, knew that I was on the road because I'd called them up and go, hey, is that offer still good to stay? And in my first month, I only stayed in 3 hotels.
That's
and
awesome.
And everybody kept it hush. And then at the 30-day mark, when I was like, all right, I think I can do this, I called up Chris out of respect just to let him know, hey, I am on the road. This is how long I've been on the road. This is what I'm doing. I called Riot to let him know.
Yep,
And then the next day, we went live with the fundraising.
yeah. It was cool. I'm really honored to know before anybody, so thank you for that, and I appreciate your trust. And we were talking about it, and we're like, this is really pretty badass, but we can't be telling anybody.
Yeah.
We were pretty excited, weren't we?
Yes, very excited for you.
Yeah.
And it's going well.
Yeah.
It's going really well. So talk about the ride. So to the viewers that haven't, and listeners, because this is on Apple Podcast, if you don't know what's going on here, it's kind of a lot of things, right? 125th year
Yep.
of Indian.
So the ride was set up. My wife's whole family is affected by myotonic muscular dystrophy.
Can you explain that? How that affects people?
Well, it's a muscular disorder. It affects your muscles. It makes it hard to swallow. You know, your heart's a muscle, so your heart doesn't beat right. You know, just makes all your muscles, weak and loose. I mean, we all remember as kids, the Jerry Lewis telethon, right?
Yep.
But it was different was Jerry's Kids. Well, now there's 9 different classifications of muscular dystrophy. Myomonsters, Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, affects young boys.
Yep.
Myotonic dystrophy was always believed to be an adult onset. And I am learning more about this. I learned about a young boy in the UK, Toby, who's almost 2, who was diagnosed with myotonic muscular dystrophy.
Oh, wow.
So there's different strands, I guess. I don't know enough about it. I'm not not that well versed. I know it's a horrible disease. My daughter-in-law had passed away from myasthenia gravis, which is also part of the muscular dystrophy family. So it hits close to home. And my wife's whole family used to do annual walks in the Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania. They had a team, Farmers' Daughters, and they would do walks and raise money for myotonic muscular dystrophy. And then COVID shut that down.
Sure.
And we figured, what can we do for a fundraiser? Well, motorcycles have to play into it somewhere, and her family agreed. And I don't like dealing with people enough to have a poker run. Just don't like that many people. So, what's the next best thing? Let's do a long distance ride. A couple of trips up to Minnesota to talk to Indian, and this being their 125th year since inception in 1901. So 1900 they started building motorcycles. We're in 2025.
Yeah.
So it's 125 years of Indian motorcycles. 125,000 miles, because Hopper set the bar at 100,000. I mean, when he beat Matt Wise was at 45, and Hopper could have done 50, and I could have done 55, but no, Hopper wanted to go to 100. So naturally, then the next step would be 125. So Indian's 125th year, 125,000 miles, 125 days. Try to raise $125,000. A 2025 motorcycle. Just kind of fit.
Everything lined up.
And the 125 plus ride was born.
There it is. That's the history of Pat's Ride.
That's how it started.
So were you the crazy old man before this, or did that?
I was just the old man. I've been the old man riding. My son started that when my son started riding, 19, 20 years old. I was 40.
Yeah.
Well, we would go to a ride, and he didn't want to go. Hey, Dad. So I was his old man. Because I was his old man.
Yeah.
And it just sort of stuck. My friends started calling me. My nephew by choice started calling. Old man, that was just it.
If I remember correctly, it's on your patch.
It is. That's just my ride name now, old man.
So do you have to get a new patch?
I do, crazy old man. We've already discussed that, because this is a crazy endeavor.
This definitely is a crazy endeavor. Of the 100, we're on day 103.
Yep.
When you pulled in the garage tonight, were you at
Good.
103,000? Okay, so when I talked earlier today, you were a little behind.
Yep, we're
So,
good.
How do you fall behind, and how do you catch back up? Let's back this up. Hang on, let me interrupt that.
How did I fall behind?
For 72 consecutive days,
Correct.
you set a saddle sore, or you earned a saddle sore 1,000,
Yes,
right?
an IBA certifiable saddle sore for 72 consecutive days.
And what a saddle sore is, 1,000 miles in a 24-hour period. Certified by the IBA. You did that 72 consecutive times, hence the name Crazy,
Yes.
okay? That was like day 23 or something. You hit a pothole. What day was that? You hit a pothole, broke a wheel, blew
so-
the tire.
So I've lost 2 rims.
Yep.
So on day 17.
Okay, I was
think
thinking
it
20. Yeah.
It might have been, yeah, it was the third Saturday. Third Saturday in May. I hit a pothole in Louisiana, busted up the rim, took hours to get a tow truck, 3 different tow companies. Finally get towed into Indian Motorcycle of New Orleans. They get me in and out in 53 minutes with a new tire, new rim, mounted, balanced, and all my rides were midnight to midnight Eastern Standard Time. And I finished my miles at 11:48 p.m.
Jeez.
And it was a push.
So when you say that name, I'm going to put a link to their website, because they deserve some visitors for sure to get you in and out that fast.
they
Now
were-
the story, if I remember correctly, they pulled it off a showroom bike.
They had a rim from a 24 Challenger ready to go. They pulled my wheel off and they went, don't fit. changed it. So he comes out, he says, we got some good news and some bad news. I went, what's the bad news? He goes, the rim we have for you don't fit. I said, well, then what's the good news? Well, he's over there pulling a new one off a Pursuit now, and he's got a jack in the showroom, and he's pulling the front wheel off, and basically left them with a $40,000 paperweight until they got a new wheel.
That's
Wow,
amazing.
That's awesome.
Did
And
Indian,
everybody talks about the dealer network. And,
Yeah.
and they didn't even know, they had no idea who I was or what I was doing except what I was telling them. And they chose to believe it, but, you know, I had no proof that I was doing anything special.
That's great. Did India overnight them a wheel then, or?
I have no idea. They
Not
ordered
sure.
one, and I haven't been back there yet. I haven't gotten back down that far.
That's crazy. So where were they? Indian Motorcycles of
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Nolans.
Nolans. Depends
Nolans,
on where you're from.
Louisiana.
New Orleans. That's a huge bit of customer service right
Yeah,
there.
no kidding.
Not knowing what you were doing, because most of the Indian dealers didn't know what you were doing, correct?
They had no idea until the end of June, beginning of July. I guess that's when it was finally, oh, he's really going to do this, and somebody sent out an email.
Well, now they should know who you are when you roll in. So you made it, that was whatever, third Saturday,
Yep.
the 20 or the 72 consecutive days, hit another pothole,
On the morning of day 73,
another
And-
issue with the towing company.
3 o'clock in the morning. I was on Interstate 85. I had just entered South Carolina. I had just come past exit 14 going north on 85, and they had construction on the southbound lanes, and the lights had the road washed out.
Oh, sure. So you
Couldn't see anything, and I hit a pothole, and that is all factual. The way I wish it went was I lost air pressure in the front wheel, went into a death wobble, made it over to a soft shoulder, fell over and got injured. Because that typically would be acceptable. It probably happened to 20 or 30 people like that. That would be the norm. But since I'm not normal, that's not the norm.
Yeah.
So I hit the pothole. I noticed my air pressure dropping on the TPMS. I made it over to the shoulder before it started to wobble. I stopped the bike, put it on the kickstand. I called 911. The cops come out because I want to report because of the construction lights.
Sure.
Somebody's going to pay for this rim. I'm tired of paying for rims. He goes, you want me to call you a tow truck? Yes. The tow company comes out. Where do you want to go? I want to go to the dealer in Greer. Oh, I can't take you to Greer. That's 40 miles away. I went, yeah, what's your point? I'm paying you by the mile. Well, 40 miles or 400 miles. I'm still paying you by the mile. What do you mean? Well, that's too far to go this hour of the morning. I'm thinking he wanted to go back to bed. He goes, I can take you to the yard. No, you can't. Because you can either take me to the dealer or you can go home empty. And he went and he got in his truck and went home. So the cop says, you want me to call another tow truck? I went, nope. I said, I have a friend of mine, an IBA rider, Bill Lance, a long-distance rider from North Carolina, was on his way to the power sports dealer with his trailer. In the event they couldn't get it fixed, we were prepared to tow it up to Charlotte or
Sure.
to another dealer to keep me on the road.
Yep.
So I said, hey, I called him up and said, Bill, I said, the tow truck won't take me to the dealership. I said, can you just come here? Yep. Bill comes down, he gets on pulls up, parks, backs up. He's getting ready to open the tailgate. I go and throw my leg over the bike. I take my helmet off the passenger, the right side mirror, and put it on my head. I need somewhere to hold it. I stand the bike up, go to put the kickstand up, no air in the front tire. Got to lean it a little further. And a tractor trailer comes by so fast and so furious, the gust of wind blew us over. Not to the nap position, but to the sleep position on the bike. And then it went down to a drainage ditch. So I got body slammed about an extra 2.5 to 3 feet. Broke my collarbone, tore my rotator cuff, and cracked the third rib in the back. And I went to get up and I was like, Bill, I think I broke my collarbone. So I crawled up to the bike. I stumbled to the back of the trailer. I was trying not to pass out and not to throw up. Made it to the front of the trailer. Bill says, you want me to call 911? I went, yes. When he got back, I was laying in the trailer using a ratchet strap that he had strung across to hold my head up. We got my jacket off. I started feeling a little better, not quite as dizzy, and I was like, Bill, do me a favor. I said, pull that kidney belt out of my riding gear. What do you mean? I said, just Velcro it in, just pull it out. I said, we're gonna make a sling to hold my arm because you're not gonna pick the bike up from the sleep position. So we slinged my arm up with the belt from my riding gear, my climb riding gear, went over. We helped get the bike to the nap position. Then I stood on the floorboard on the driver's side, on the road side, grabbed a handlebar.
Yep.
I counterbalanced, he lifted it up, put it on the trailer. Got on the trailer, put the kickstand down, and I'm holding the bike up. I'm leaning against it so it didn't fall over because of the pitch of the shoulder. EMS shows up. Says, who's the patient? I said, I am, but I can't leave until this is strapped. Can you give me that black strap in that bag right there? And the EMT started giving us straps so we could get the bike strapped down so I could get in the bus and go to the hospital.
That's awesome.
Kudos to the EMS driver, right?
Yeah,
And
no
then
kidding.
5 or 6 hours in the hospital, and you know, if they find our Facebook page, Room Old Man, Indian 125 plus ride for Myotonic. So if they search Room Old Man, it comes up.
Yep.
And they look at the day 73 update, the video update on day 73. That's when I was in the hospital. That's when I'm finding all this stuff out. I got out of the hospital. Bill towed me all the way up to Virginia. We unloaded the bike. We spent the night up there. Well, we drove up. The bike was still on the trailer. We spent the night up in a hotel in Newport News. The following morning, Ed, who's the owner of Indian Motorcycles of Southeastern Virginia, on a Sunday met us at the dealership so we could unload the bike and get it inside. And then Bill had to hurry and go home because I think he was leaving Monday on his bike for Nova Scotia.
Okay.
So he just happened to get up at 3 in the morning and look at his phone and went, oh, Pat needs help, and got on the road. But you don't find a better family than the IBR, IBA, long distance Hoka-Hay families. Like, it is such a tight knit group. I was joking around with Riot. I said, I said we should get patches made up, like 1% of 1%ers, because there's that few of us.
Yeah.
And we are one pretty damn tight family.
Yep.
If somebody needs help, somebody's on the road.
Thanks to Facebook. I mean,
Yes.
really, we say that all the time.
Yeah, social media. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So
that was day 73.
that was day 73.
And whenever I check in with you, it seems to be pretty smooth sailing, other than your arm hurts, shoulder hurts.
Yep, I got on. I got up. That happened on Saturday. On Wednesday, the rim came in. We overnighted a rim in. And Wednesday night, I took a 100-mile test ride, and my requirements were I had to be able to get both hands on the handlebar unassisted. Like I couldn't pick my right hand up with my left.
Okay.
So I had to be able to get both hands on the handlebars and go full lock right and left without passing out from the pain. And I was able to do that. And I took a 100-mile test ride. And I came back and I went, all right, we're going to try this. So my medication was due in on Thursday. So I went out and I did a 900-mile local out and back from Newport News. Got back, my medication was in. I left out on Friday and I started catching up on miles. So they beat you up, they slam you to the ground, they break you, and they go, and now to add insult to injury, you get to ride more miles every day until day 100. Thanks.
Yeah. More miles. So yeah, you had to make up a lot of time.
Yeah.
I had about 3,500 miles to make up.
Yeah, and you did it
And
in
you did it in time.
25 days.
I had 22 days to do it. And then day 87, I hit a wall. Day 87, I mean, was chasing miles. I was coming up. I stopped and I visited some friends in Hot Springs. Stopped and had some ice cream with them, and I got on the road. I made it up to the 90, and I made a left to go west, and I ran into a storm cell. I turned around to go east, and I ran into a storm cell. And I felt like I was on a treadmill all day. I went nowhere. And I went back to their house, and I was like, can I stay here? And we talked, and then if you look at the day 88 post, the day 88 video of the positivity and the motivation, and like, it's mind over matter. I don't have a mind, so it don't matter. We just got to get this shit done. And we did 1,200 miles the next day, and started playing catch up again. And my wall day, I mean, it was 11 hours of riding. I did 770 miles, but I felt like I was going nowhere. It was a mental. And
What got you over that?
talking with Bev and Larry, dead man. Probably a couple of prayer sessions with Bev and Larry. 5 hours of sleep, a good shower. I went out and my windshield was cleaned and my lights were cleaned and my water jug was filled with ice and water and the bike was ready to go and didn't have to stop and do any of that. And it was like, it's going to be a good day. And, sometimes against all odds and whatever adversity, and I've said this in a lot of my videos, I'm out here by choice. I chose to do this. People that suffer with muscular dystrophy, myotonic or any other, they didn't choose to have it. But every day they have to endure, they have to put up with the struggles, they have to persevere. I chose to be out here. I'm going to do the same thing. I can't give up. And we just keep going.
That's awesome. It's amazing. So then, what day was harder? Day 73 or day 88?
'73 hurt mentally because I knew my saddle sores were over. I knew my game plan was over, and I had to readjust my game plan. Day 87
Or 87, I'm sorry.
was day 87 was almost quit day. Day 87 was like, why? Why am I out here? Why am I doing this? And they put me, by, I ran into Bev and Larry earlier in the day. They were like, hey, if you want to come back tonight, you can, whatever. And there was a reason that I was put by Bev and Larry that day. Big believers. And we talked and had some food and went to bed and got up, and it was a different attitude. And I needed that. And the next couple of weeks were, grueling for miles. Shoulder was killing me. And then I hit the 100 and 100, and that was a big sigh of relief. And day 101 was great, and I got 6 hours of sleep, or 8 hours of sleep. Day 102 was great, and I got 6 hours of sleep. And well, now that I'm able to rest the shoulder, it's feeling better. And now that I'm able to stay in bed more than 3 or 4 hours, the swelling in my sausages are going down. I'm actually able to zipper my boots again and get the Velcro to touch, which I couldn't do for 4 days. But
It's pretty crazy to think, everybody thinks 1,000 miles a day is crazy, and it absolutely is.
Yes.
and then you
There's
have
no
the other,
denying
and then you
it,
have
right?
the other crew that go, so he's out riding a motorcycle. What's the big deal?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't realize how hard it is. So you get all the way to day 100, and now it just keeps getting a little bit better,
Yes.
a little bit better. So
Yep.
you're almost there.
Now I can bank some miles.
Yep.
If I want to have a slow day, I can take a slow day. If I want to relax a little bit, I just got done banging out 12 and 1,300 miles. I have a couple of BBGs and a 1750 day. So I had left out. When I saw you in Sturgis the first time on Saturday.
Yep.
I left out of there and I went down to Houston because I was having my anniversary dinner with my wife at my sister's house. So I got in there after a couple of hailstorms and a bit of a shit show getting down there, and I got in there at 8 o'clock at night. I think it was 8 o'clock, 6 or 8, and we had dinner. So we had catered dinner in. So I ate dinner, and then You know, my wife and I had one of our comical visits again. You know, in prison you get conjugal visits. We have comical visits because I go to bed, and when she gets into bed, I'm getting up to go ride. So, and we've done this at the Rendezvous. We've done this at my daughter's house in Maine. You know, and we did it at my sister's house in Houston. We'll do it again next week in Myrtle Beach. We have comical visits, but we get to see each other. So I rode down to Houston, had the anniversary dinner, went to bed, got up, got on the bike, rode up to Allentown, Pennsylvania. I had an interview for a talk show, which was a follow-up from 2 months earlier.
Yeah.
I finished that up 1,750 miles out to Fargo. I had miles I had a goal to hit.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I hit it. Now it gets a little easier.
Now it's getting easier. Yeah. You got it in the bag now.
Now I'm, you know, tomorrow I'll head over to the Indian Bike Week rally. I was invited over there, and
Yep.
you know,
Indian. So it used to be they were trying to set a Guinness record of Indians in one place. Motorcycles.
so I believe they had the record at one time, and then somebody took it away, and they are trying to do it again this year with the largest Indian parade for the Guinness Book of World Records.
Okay.
And Adam Sandoval is going to be there to
Isn't he on a Harley though?
see that. No, he's Indian now.
He is. Interesting. Is it because some guy's riding it like he stole it for 125,000 miles and not having any mechanical issue?
I like my Indian.
Yeah. So what has been, so we've heard your couple low points. What has been the high point so far? First thing that pops in your head.
The scenery around this country. I mean, you know, and you know, I applaud people that have the time to go and do the attractions. I mean, I you know, I've done parts of Route 66, you know, and to go pick some fudge out of Uranus. I mean, absolutely a great day. You know, it's just a blast to stop.
I want to go there so bad.
You know, they say the best
I wanna
fudge.
go to Uranus.
The best fudge comes from Uranus.
And this is where Renee leaves the podcast.
And you know, I mean, standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, you know,
That's pretty
and Cadillac Ranch. I mean, you know, I've been to these places. I've seen them, and they're great. But it takes time. I have to stop. I have to get off. I got to look. I mean, the Four Corners Monument. I got off there because I had been to the Four Corners of the U.S. and I stopped at the Four Corners Monument because I'm out here spreading awareness and raising funds for Myotonic Muscular Dystrophy. And I have given out flyers in every one of the lower 48 states raising awareness for Myotonic Muscular Dystrophy. So from the Four Corners to the Four Corners Monument just kind of fit. Other than that, I mean, I was on SR-20 up above Washington thanks to Denver Woods and A.J. Hansen, pothole. And the road was phenomenal. I mean, I did half a dozen videos from there, and one of them was literally, you know, no words. Literally no words. I was driving down the road, just following the road and it was just awe-inspiring. And if you do it today, it looks different because the clouds are different, the lighting's different. I don't care where you go and how many times you've ridden the road, and you may know the road like the back of your hand, but if you're just going to ride the road's going to be the same. If you're going to look at what the road has to offer, it changes every second, every minute. You know, you can ride it in that direction, come back, it's going to be different, turn around, it's going to be different. So I can't wait till next year to get the wife out here in the RV, and we're just going to obviously not ride my route, but we're going to see the sights for a year from the RV.
I don't think an RV would keep up for 125,000 miles.
Definitely won't keep up. We are going, you know, 125 days is one thing, but we're looking at doing like a tank of gas a day,
Yeah.
you know, which is 350 miles. Park it, enjoy what we got.
Yep.
You know,
That's
you get out west
amazing.
and park in the desert. You know, just pull over and park. We're self-contained. Stay there for 2 days and leave. Nobody cares.
Yep. So you're gonna have, speaking of next year, because this ride's not over. You got 22 plus days left.
Yep.
So there will be more. We'll of course talk again, probably through desktops like my normal podcast. And but next year now you have plans to do some things with Indian, right?
Travel
Can
around.
you talk
to-
about that?
So I believe they're putting the bike on the demo truck to go to 18 different rallies, and we're apparently going to accompany them. We're supposed to work with them and accompany them to 18 different rallies to, sit under the tent, make up lies, and tell stories. So, and I say that tongue in cheek, but they want to know about the ride. They want to know about the bike. I mean, other than my potholes, that bike has not left me stranded in 103,000 miles.
It's crazy. It's amazing.
It is just, it's been great. I named him Pappy.
Why?
Well, you're old enough. Remember the Black Sheep Squadron?
No. I don't know. Was it? I don't.
A TV show. Baba Black Sheep. Black Sheep
that
Squadron.
show?
I never watched it.
Okay.
So Pappy
I did.
Pappy Boyington was the commander of the Black Sheep Squadron, and he kept all the misfits in line.
Okay.
So I figured a good name for Pappy
To keep
to
you
keep
in
me
line.
in line.
That was pretty good.
Yep. I always wonder where bike names come from.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So you'll be traveling around with Indian, telling your story
Yep.
to 18 different.
18
groups
different
of
rallies.
people.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have any questions? Huh?
No. I'm just listening.
She's just here. She's
I'm
our
just-
live studio audience. Normally, I end the podcast with 5 questions, but I don't know any of them because I don't have notes.
Well, let's talk about the seat here a little bit.
We can talk about the seat. So share your
I don't
experience.
know what I can and can't say on the podcast.
you can say whatever you want. No, you really
But,
can. What I've done since I started the podcast is I don't really want it to be all about Wild Ass because
It's
I
about
want-
you.
I want to hear
more
what your
concerned.
story is.
I was
you know
more
what I mean?
concerned about language.
No, I don't care about that.
I
I think if
mean,
people don't want to watch it, they can shut it
I
off.
have, I picked this Wild Ass cushion up and I put it on and I probably put 22,000 miles on it before the ride. I have like 28,000 this year before the ride. And, I wanted to see how, because it was a piece of crap, I wasn't putting it on the bike take on this ride, that's for sure. And then, put it on with my seat. And I mean, I have a custom seat. I have a Russell Day-Long seat, which is a phenomenal seat. But when you're setting out to do something extra, or as the mile monsters say, something epic, you want to make sure that you're good. And I put this thing on there, and 103,000 miles. I don't have a hot spot. I got no chafing. I got no sweaty balls. I got no swamp ass. It's just, if you want to sit on, I mean, people go, how do you do it? I went, how do I do what? I sit in my lazy boy and I play with the remote in my right hand all day and I watch the National Geographic Scenery Channel. Like that's what I'm out here doing.
Yeah.
For 14 to 23 hours stay. I'm binge watching.
Yeah.
And I don't know I'm sitting on a motorcycle. I don't have any issues. I mean, I was doing, steroids with my shoulder, my legs swelled up, and you get stuff like this. You're doing the right thing, right? You put compression stockings on, right?
Yeah.
To try and keep the swelling down, and then you end up with, from the compression stockings, the silicone that holds it up.
Oh, sure.
And you end up with this on both legs, and they blister, and I don't know they're there till I get off the Wild Ass.
Huh.
Crazy.
Well, that's good. I think that, like I say, I appreciate the praise.
Worked better than you
You
expected.
done good, kid.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I think we've asked, is there anything you want to talk about that we haven't?
How did you get into motorcycles?
Got something?
So, I had a paper route. I was 9 years old, and I was delivering papers, and I was saving my money, and a friend of mine had a dirt bike for sale. And I'm like, Mom, Greg's selling his dirt bike. Can I buy it? No, you're not getting a motorcycle. And I went down. I was talking to Greg, and his dad was there. I said, I really want to buy Greg's motorcycle. Well, I mean, if you want to talk to your mom. And, no, I talked to my mom. My mom said, there's no way I'm getting a motorcycle. He goes, well, then how would you pay for it? And I was like, well, I have money from my paper route to buy it. He goes, okay, so what's the problem? I went, well, I can't take it home. I said, if I can leave it here, I'll buy it. He went, you can leave it here. So I bought it. And I left it at Greg's house with his dad. And I would walk 4 blocks down to Greg's house and go riding in the dirt. Between that and watching Ponch and John on Chips, I was like, I'm in. And, and there's guys that, some people are all about, if there's not a picture on Facebook, it didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
If it's not certified, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I was stationed out in California. My mom was home in Jersey, and I would ride home for a 4-day weekend, spend 6 hours with Mom, and ride back, and had 180,000 mile year that year, every other weekend. This ride put me just over, unofficially, uncertified, 2.5 million lifetime.
Wow.
Wow.
And that was because a guy, when I was a kid, in a small family club, said, you ride a lot, you should keep track of your miles. What do you mean keep track of my miles? Just buy a bike, write the odometer down. Write it down when it ends. When you wreck it, when you sell it, when it breaks, whatever. And I found one of my old notebooks had like 12 bikes in it. I had a few bikes in between, and I had another notebook that had other bikes in it. So, the ones that I have written down, I added them all up before this ride, and I was at, 2.423 or something. I forget what it was.
That is awesome.
So,
Wish
not,
Bet you wish you had done that.
I wish
nothing,
I'd have kept my miles.
Nothing official. Just,
Yeah.
I know in here what I've done on a motorcycle, and I ride a motorcycle for me. I don't ride it for anybody. Well, normally I don't ride it for anybody else. This was a first for me, and we thought about what I thought was every aspect of this ride. We started planning this ride over 2 years ago, and we thought about the bike, and we thought about maintenance, and we thought about service, and we thought about how are we going to get service if we're banging out 1,000 miles a day? Where are we going to get it? Halfway through the ride, I did, neck bearings and bushings and rotors and brakes and tires and drive belt and just everything that could possibly fail at 100,000. We changed it 70.
Sure.
Neck bearings at 100,000 is not uncommon on any motorcycle. I didn't want it to be an emergency. So at 70,000, we had it all planned out to change it. And right after we successfully got through that, still doing the 1,000-mile days, the universe throws me on the ground.
Testing you.
So the logistics worked out, the plan worked out to get to where we needed to go. And the only thing I didn't think about during this whole planning stage was becoming a popular kid. I don't like people that much. I'm good with people. You want to put me in front of a group and tell jokes and have a good time, I'm fine with that. But like the public person is like, it's a little odd for me. So, hopefully my 15 seconds of fame gets cut down to 12 and we'll be good.
I think you're just getting started.
But,
more and more people are riding long distance because of social media, because of all of the things that all of the people are doing. Mile Monsters, the Hoka, they're just like infesting this huge group of people in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you know, when
People
you
are
start talking
excited.
about yourself, Ken Andrews is a monster. Everybody knows Hopper now.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Riot.
Yep.
I mean, you guys are all, you're in that category of people that we all look up to and
Well,
think,
let me
man,
let me
that is
let me
crazy.
put a name out there. Nicole Mius.
I don't know that one.
Nicole Mius has been riding long distance 5 or 6 years now. This year was the second female ever to win the IBR. She was the first person ever to sweep the IBR with first place in all 3 legs.
Wow.
She is a beast.
Isn't she just a little girl too? I didn't know her name.
Yeah,
But she's like super
tiny.
small.
Yeah, Moosey 911. Yep, Nicole Mius. She's 5'4", 5'5", maybe, tiny little thing on a big old beamer,
Yeah.
and she can ride the shit out of it. And, you know, that is a name that you will be hearing. She's going to become synonymous with Wendy. So,
Huh. Well, let's
That's
get
cool.
connected and get her
Yeah.
on the show. For sure.
we will.
Yeah.
We'll call Nicole.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Well,
Lights are coming
it's
on.
getting
It's
dark
getting
out.
dark
I
out.
want
it's
to talk
getting
about
dark.
one
The
more
lights are
thing.
coming on. The camera's going to go blind.
If it's even still on. Let me check that. So this is a commercial break that we're not going to pause for. We're still recording. We still got decent batteries. So the last thing I want to talk about is your fundraiser. So to find you, it's Vroom, VROOM, Old Man. Just search that on Facebook. You'll find the page.
Yep. The page will pop up. It's Room Old Man
Yep.
Indian 125 plus for Myotonic.
Like it, follow it,
Share it.
share it,
Donate.
Donate if you
And-
can.
and right at the top, it's pinned to the top now,
Yes.
is the link to go donate.
Yep.
Where are the donations going?
To the Myotonic Foundation. They take care of helping out people with myotonic dystrophy, with their medical cost, with their care, and it also goes to research to try and find a cure or help find a cure, as all the dystrophies, be it Duchenne's, you know, whichever one it is, they all do their fundraising, and a certain amount of money goes to research, because once they find, you know, a cure or a stall, for one, the rest of them will be, you know, right there. I mean, they're all similar. So money goes to research, money goes to taking care of, you know, medical bills and the care that people need. But it goes right to the foundation. That's their link on the page. I mean, we see, you know, what the total is, you know, what was donated, but, you know, it goes right to them. We do have merchandise available. So we have challenge coins, we have t-shirts, and we have stickers. We are selling that, and we put out all the money to buy the coins, to buy the shirts, to buy the stickers. We are looking to recoup what we put out for whatever, and as a matter of the t-shirts were donated. And I don't know the name of his company, so I'll have to find that out. But whatever money is raised after we recoup what we spent on the merchandise, that all goes to myotonic dystrophy. We have the Wild Ass seat cushion from Mr. Craig here that is now up, and anybody that donates in the next 2 weeks and puts Wild Ass in the comments, for every $5 donated, they get an entry into a drawing for a Wild Ass seat cushion. We have a handmade knife from Henry LeCompte up in Canada. So he donated a knife. We put that up, 40 slots at $20 a piece. So as soon as they're full, we'll spin the wheel and we'll have that out. Until the end of this week, we have Catch the Old Man in the Wild. So if somebody catches a picture of me riding on my bike, having dinner, getting gas, whatever, they
At
post
the
it
Wild
on.
Ass Tent in Sturgis.
They post it on our page. They tag us, and I believe on Sunday we're gonna have a drawing for 3 challenge coins for whoever caught me in the wild. And then we've got other items coming up when these start falling off. We're gonna have other ones coming up, so keep an eye on the page for that. Everybody knows fundraising's tough.
It's
You know,
super
um,
tough.
You know, for me it's backwards. I wanted $100,000 in donations when I was at 25,000 miles. Well, no, I'm at 103,000 miles, and I don't have $25,000 in donations yet.
So I was messaging with your wife about that, and now that you broke the record, like you're the guy now. I would suspect.
No, I'm the other guy. Chris Hopper.
No, he's that guy.
He's
He's
that
that
guy.
You're the
guy.
crazy
He's
old man.
that guy. I'm the other guy.
But now you got the target on your back. But I think now that you've pulled into the lead,
Yep.
I would suspect now donations are going to start kicking in, and that's going to start to go. When I've done, Mile Monsters fundraisers and things, the donations always seem to come in at the end. It's like
Yes.
everybody's thinking, is he going to do it? Is he going to make it?
Correct.
I hope everybody watching this knows now that you're going to make it.
I'm gonna make it.
You can hear it. I've heard it all along. I didn't talk to you on day 87. I think I checked in with you after I saw the video.
Yep.
And you were good again. So
Yeah.
I've thought all along you're going to make it. And I'm like, I'll be damned, he's going to make it.
I mean, long distance riding, 90% of the long distance riders out here are charity riders. I mean, we are riding for a cause. We're riding for other people. We're riding for a purpose. This is not your, Saturday I'm going to go cruise with my buddies and get a burger.
Yeah.
I mean, we're out here. When you're exposing yourself, 12, 14, 16, 18 hours a day to the traffic, to the environment, it is
Try to get the yard light come back on.
There it is.
it's tough on the road. I mean, cars coming at you on the wrong side of a divided highway, flooded roadways, going around trees that have blown down, trailer tires, you're following a truck and a trailer tire comes out and it's rolling next to you, debris in the road. There's
Yeah.
lots of hazards out there, wildlife, lots and lots of wildlife.
Yeah.
Lots.
So, this is not your Saturday afternoon. Let's go for a beer or let's go do a poker run on Sunday and we'll donate $5 to Toys for Tots.
Yeah.
It's a little more extreme, and and the heavy hitters in this group, and it's we all know it's not easy, and we hope that people realize that we're not just out here riding a motorcycle.
We know the heavy hitters, and I think one of the things both of us see is the respect that you all have for each other. It's like,
Which is super cool.
yeah, and that, like you say,
Everybody cheering each other on. And
I mean, we all have a competitive nature,
yes,
and we all want to do better. But when push comes to shove, whether you can do better or not, we're still there to support each other.
yeah,
And we had another rider out on the road this year, Scott Gutzchalk. Scott set out to do 120 and 120 riding for human trafficking.
yep,
Unfortunately, he had an accident on day 22. He got 21 consecutive saddle sores. He had an accomplishment,
that's a lot.
but circumstances took him out of the running. Chris was out on the road, and Chris was out to do 101 plus again, and circumstances dictate, and he ended up out of the running, and I felt like I was back on the fire department, first in,
Yeah.
last out.
Yeah,
and you rode Scott's route.
So, and I rode Scott's route. He had a 5-day loop, a little over 5,000 miles, and I didn't want his ride to end in an accident. So, a week after his accident, I went up and I did the 5,000 mile loop for him. So it ended in a dedication and not a wreck.
sure.
And that's
September
shows
12th,
it right there.
September 12th, he will be doing, he's going to be on a trike
Yep.
that has been outfitted with a suicide shift, and he is going to be doing the last couple of 100 miles of his ride. So it was not a complete failure, and,
Right.
and I am hoping to be there for that.
Well, you should be in the neighborhood because the Mile Monster Party is Friday night, that same night here. He was supposed to do it the following week. I was pretty excited because
Yeah.
he asked if we'd join him and stuff, and then that got changed
Well, yeah,
down there at the dealership.
Right, because his daughter's getting married.
Yep.
So, he's like, I really want to be here, but my daughter or son, whatever his child's getting married. and he has to be at the wedding, obviously.
Yeah.
So can we change the end date? So they changed it to the 12th.
Yep.
That's
So.
Yeah.
So yeah, where do you buy the coins and merch? I'll get, you know what? I'll get
Online.
all the links online.
Vroom Old Man, Indian 125 plus ride for Myotonic.
So everything's on
Go right
Facebook.
to the page. Pinned to the top, you'll see the donate page. You'll see the knife. You'll see Wild Ass, and you'll see the merchandise. Coins are $50. T-shirts. Here's our fancy schmancy T-shirts that are $30. Stickers are $5. If you wanted to, that was the only difference, was we had sponsorship coins. All the challenge coins are numbered. The sponsorship coins are lettered. And if somebody wanted to sponsor the ride, it was a $500 donation, and that went to the ride. That went to the service, to the gas, to the ride itself. We've been right up front with that. But everything else, like I said, the stickers, the coins, the T-shirts, all the direct donations, all of that goes right to Myotonic Muscular Dystrophy. I have been handed about $1,200 in cash as I travel around from people at gas stations and restaurants. Just go, well, here, put this in the donation, and I've put that into the bank, and when we're all done, and I call my wife every time I get a donation, all right, add another $20, add $50, add $250, and we add it all up, and when we're all done, we're just gonna make a donation, and it's gonna be donated under the Myotonic ride. I don't know everybody's name, but
Yep.
All right, the light keeps shutting off.
Come on, light. So yeah, in your, I had a couple hundred coins in Sturgis.
Yep.
You had, there's lights on. You had, you're grabbing some today for this weekend.
I am.
And then I will have some left. So if anybody wants a coin, they are all accounted for, and I will forward that money on to your wife. So you can either reach out to me or go the best way to do it, so I don't have to do anything, because
Yeah.
I'm lazy, is go to Vroom Old Man on Facebook. I'll put a link in the notes. I'm going to try not to wait till Monday. I kind of have all day tomorrow with my laptop in semi-silence, so I will see if I can't get this taken care of and get it posted right away, so you can all catch up on the stuff ending this week, the pictures with Old Man. What if they screenshot this?
Ooh.
Does that count?
I'm not in the wild.
Oh, you're not in the wild. Well, we're kind of.
You got to catch me at a
In the
gas
wild
station,
ass
a restaurant.
property.
I don't know. I saw
That's
you
right.
rolling in.
In
Does
the
that
wild,
count?
on my wild ass.
All right.
So.
Pat, thank you. I appreciate
Right,
it. We're going to
thank
get
you.
you tucked in so you can get some sleep and get out of here
Yes.
tomorrow. Renee, thank you for
Yes.
sitting in.
I will be out of here at the ass crack of morning and hopefully sneak out like a cat burglar. You won't hear me.
Right.
That's
You-
okay. I get up early.
Yeah, we'll be up plenty
Not that
early
early.
with you. So, guys, keep an eye out for the next episode. I'll get it up as soon as I can. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.
Peace out.
Bye.